To get outdoors on WHTL, are you ready? From the deepest woods to the open waters, from the rocky trails to the snowy tracks, if that happens outdoors, we're talking about it. From fishing to hiking to hunting to trail riding, we cover it all. Brought to you by Petrick Service Station, Holden Sporting Goods, Black River Express, Moe Hardware, the Levis Drum Rail Riders, the Elk Ride and Gun Club, Triplo County Economic Development and Tourism, and the Associated Conservation Clubs of Triplo County. So tighten up your boots, check your hook, and fire up the engine. The adventure starts now.
That is right, everybody. It is time for that adventure, and I am joined by Peter Jonas. I have talked with him before. I'm excited to have him back in the studio. How are you doing this morning, my friend?
Well, I am mourning the Freddie Peralta trade and the financial state of Major League Baseball. But other than that, I'm just great, Brian. And it's always great to see you.
Yeah, good to have you in here on this chilly morning, which is going to get a lot colder as the day goes by.
Oh, my goodness. Just crazy out here, like an old-fashioned winter.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about before going on the air. It's like, I think we've been finally due for a real Wisconsin winter.
But, you know, the crazy thing is, even though it's going to be 20 below tomorrow, if you want to, you can go stream trout fishing.
All right.
Because you won't see me out there, but just saying that our catch and release opener began January 1st.
Okay.
And that runs till the first Saturday in April. And personally, I usually don't get out there till March, and it's in the 40s and that sort of thing. But some folks are catching trout. I know a friend of mine, there were those couple warm days in January. And, everyone says fish slow, go small in winter, this sort of thing. He was fishing a 5-inch streamer, and a massive trout just T-boned it.
Really?
Yeah. So what do we know about winter fishing?
Yeah, no kidding.
Weird things happen out there. But it can be generally, and it is catch and release, just so everyone is aware of that this time of year. But we do have the open season going on right now. And then a change in the fishing regulations that has probably been a bit under reported and just sort of been under the radar is that the traditional opener for harvesting trout is actually going to be April 4th this year instead of the first Saturday in May. It's going to be the first Saturday in April. So folks who like to harvest fish, they're going to have an extra month to do that. And there's been a lot of research that has been pretty convincing that biologically the streams can sustain this, and in fact way fewer people are harvesting fish than they used to anyway. So this just gives people one more month an opportunity if that's their the way that they enjoy trout fishing.
Yeah, that is so great. Yeah, that extra time, and especially like my family grew up fishing and hunting, and it was to put stuff in the freezer. So my grandpa, he would fillet all those fish and fry them, pickle them, do whatever he could do with them. And for giving people that extra month, that's pretty nice.
You bet. And there's no reason, I think, to look at increased opportunities for people to enjoy the outdoors is really an important thing. I've actually made a point just... Rob Herman always teases me. He's like, you catch and release guys, you're just too lazy to clean your own fish. That's the sort of thing about it. The reality is I'm out fishing enough that if I was keeping fish all the time, I'd never be able to eat them all. But I do... I have made a point like last year intentionally to make sure that I tried to harvest some trout, because a lot of our streams actually, trout would probably be a bit bigger if there was a little more harvest. So one of the things I tried doing was smoking them on my smoker, which turned out pretty good. I
Yeah.
was pretty excited about that.
Good deal.
Yeah.
yeah, and like our streams, we got pretty good water in them. Do we have to worry about a lot of the lead in our streams or anything like that in like some other places, or is that also a concern here?
Our streams do have some chemical contaminants, of course. We have phosphorus from agriculture and nitrates. And the other thing, even though the scientific research is that they're not harmful to humans, but I think they're affecting the ecosystem, are what's called neonicotinoids, which are things that are substances that our seeds are covered with in order to discourage insect infestation and this sort of thing. And they have a very long life. So, there has been research that our insect hatches in trout streams have declined pretty significantly.
Yeah.
And anecdotally, I can tell you, I see way fewer mayflies than I did when I first began fishing. I still see scuds, freshwater shrimp. I see caddisflies pretty good, although some decline on that. But I think there has been a real decline in our mayfly population in most areas in the state where streams run through agricultural land.
Yeah, and I have heard that in like the past 5 years and stuff, where you used to drive through on a summer day and your windshield would be completely covered with bugs, and people are saying, we're not having that bug coverage.
Yeah.
And that is a sign that there's something going on there.
Yeah, and I think it is such a intricate environmental thing regarding how insects affect so many other aspects of the food chain and everything else that is not entirely fully understood.
Yeah.
So there is, there are going to probably be consequences that we're not anticipating about this, which is a little bit gloomy as we're talking about this, but that's just the reality.
It's important
of that
things to talk.
situation. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, is there some work in the conservation community to get a hold on some of these chemical contaminants and things like that? What do you see happening out there?
I know that Trout Unlimited has a neonicotinoid working group.
Okay.
It is chaired by Andy Davidson, who's a retired DNR biologist, really interesting person, and they are attempting to gather the best type of information that they can do. I know that farmers themselves, frankly, don't have a ton of choices. It is virtually impossible to find seeds that are not treated with neonicotinoids. So I think we'd like to see a little more opportunity for the seed companies to kind of step up and take some responsibility in this area. So it's definitely an ongoing issue that is being sorted out as issues get sorted out with various interest groups, attempting to influence the process, and we will see where it goes.
Yep. Yeah. And we both know with government, being involved too, it's like that kind of slows things down a little even more, and interest groups and all that
inevitably,
stuff.
I mean, it's just people trying to arrive at a way of moving forward, which is always challenging.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And you were talking earlier, because you've been with Trout's Unlimited for a long time. Your role is kind of changing around there, huh?
Yep, it sure is. So I was a paid employee of the Driftless Area Restoration effort, which is a part of our staff, and I have now retired. So I've retired from full-time ministry, and I've now retired from my part-time role with TU Dare. But I have been on the board of my local chapter for many years, and now I have the privilege of serving as its president. So that is moving my attention to not just stream restoration, although that's kind of the core of who we are, but some of our educational programs like Trout in the Classroom and Stream Girls that we do with Girl Scouts, and our regular chapter meetings that are not necessarily business meetings, but we have a speaker, which is, could be a guide, it could be a DNR biologist, could be someone who's interested in, has innovative ideas about fly tying, this sort of thing. Yeah. So, and by the way, our Clearwater chapter meetings are the second Tuesday of each month. And we meet at the Brewery Project in Eau Claire.
Oh, nice place to meet.
It is a very nice
That's a
place
wonderful
to meet.
place.
Yeah, we're in their area that they call the garage, actually, if you have ever had a meeting in there, which is kind of cool. So, generally I have an old-fashioned celebrate that. And our chapter covers all or parts of 11 counties surrounding Eau Claire. So we cover all of Buffalo County and almost all of Trempealeau County, and then western Jackson County is a part of our TU Clearwater's area. So I think I am probably the first board president who has his roots so deep in Trempealeau, Buffalo counties that I do. And we also have another board member who lives in Mondovi, Elliot Westman. So we're well represented in the Northern Driftless in our area here.
Wow. So if someone wants to get involved with that, can they just come to your meetings, or should they reach out to you? All right.
Absolutely. We have a website. So if you look up Wisconsin Clearwaters, gotta say, one of my early roles as chapter president, our website is often not as current as it could be, I am sad to say. We're also on Facebook. I do keep that pretty current.
Okay.
So you can check information about that. And you can either send a message to be included in our mailing list, or if you just join Trout Unlimited, which, of course, every right-thinking person should do, obviously.
Yeah.
If you join Trout Unlimited, then you automatically get put on our local chapter mailing list as well. Okay. So that's another way of getting connected with that.
Yeah, that's great. So now that you're retiring, you're going to have some time to clean some of those fish, apparently.
Yeah. Less excuse.
Less excuses, though.
I can hear Rob Herman speaking over my shoulder and... Yeah. Now what kind of excuse do you have?
Yeah. But with that retirement, I'm sure, like you said, you're staying involved in the conservation and moving and shaking and doing what you can do, and I hear your name from a lot of conservation clubs too, and it's all been good stuff. So,
well, that's good to hear. And these things don't happen without partnerships. That's just a fact.
Yep.
And here in the WHTL listening area, I mean, you have some of the best grassroots conservation work going on, in my mind, that I've seen anywhere in the state.
Yes.
And, I'm not an expert on what goes on everywhere, but you see way more volunteer input, and you see way more volunteer effort than a lot of other places where they're basically totally relying on, our state agencies and NRCS, and who all do super work, but they continue to be, their financial situations are becoming tighter and tighter and tighter. We haven't had a increase in our trout stamp for over 20 years, and that's something that we have advocated for. We'd like to see an increase in that. Well, those dollars just don't go as far as they used to go. So it is, people... I know the DNR is not always the most popular agency that in the state of Wisconsin. I got to say, what I see, I super appreciate.
Yeah.
I see men and women that are doing the absolute best to work what they have, to work with what they have.
Yeah. And work within the guidelines that are set for them. Yeah.
Right. And to try and make, positive things happen in our water and our land. So that is my, personal opinion on that.
Yep.
We have a great grassroots situation here in I guess what I refer to as the Northern Driftless.
Yeah, it is like even Jackson County, we look at what's going on over here and how so many people are involved, and it's great. And because so much falls on land conservation in Jackson County, and like you said, the money, our guy is really good because he finds the grants and stuff that we need to use, and I know that he's worked with you guys in certain cases, and we are actually talking about working some just across the border in Trempealeau to help out some things. But yeah, like funding is really hard when it comes to that, and the volunteers to get it done. So they're doing a good thing over here, and hopefully we can spread that further on into other counties.
Yeah. And speaking of Jackson County, this coming field season, there is going to be a stream restoration project taking place in Jackson County. It's going to be on the north branch of the Trempealeau River in the Trempealeau fishery area. Okay. It's going to be a project that is going to be done by the DNR Habitat crew, and they're going to be doing 3/4 of a mile of stream restoration in that area. So I'm anxious to see how that develops. The DNR, we had several projects in Buffalo County last year. The DNR was working in Irish Valley, which is a tributary of the Wamedy, and then of course we had TU Dare and Wamedy Rod and Gun Club and TU Clearwaters was primarily responsible for the stream restoration project on Denoozer Creek in conjunction with the NRCS. So lots of partnerships doing great things,
doing the good work. So,
yep.
Well, that's so great. What else you got to cover for us today? You got anything else you want to say before we let you go?
Yep. Well, another little piece of local news here. So Chad DeWire, who is the engineer out of the Alma office for the Natural Resources Conservation Service, Chad has been a tremendous asset over the years in designing stream restoration projects to work with what the landowner's situation is, if it's a farming operation, how that land is being utilized, and to nudge it into just a really healthy, sustainable relationship with its creek. And Chad, last year, in my mind, just hit it out of the park. He designed the project on Denoozer Creek for that situation, taking a straightened stream and returning it to some what we call sinuosity, which is kind of giving it a bit of wiggle within a somewhat of a constrained area. And then on Wilson Creek in Dunn County, he took another straightened stream and in a much more ambitious project restored that stream to its old channel that they found through aerial photography and reconnected it to a wetland. So Chad is going to be the recipient of Trout Unlimited's award for resource professionals at our state banquet on February 7th. He's going to get the Hunt Vetrano Resource Professional Award in Oshkosh. So if you see Chad, you can tell him that you heard that he is the man, and as far as I'm concerned, he is. He does as so does Dennis Reimers over there in the office in Buffalo County. Just super people.
Yeah, that is great. Well deserved too. I know that's because there is a lot of engineering that goes into redoing some of these streams and things. And we got Mike over in Jackson County too, and he does a lot of great work that way too. And it's quite the projects and quite the engineering feat it takes.
Well, and you need someone who is not only has the chops mathematically and all of the engineering stuff that none of the rest of us understand, but who can actually sit down with a landowner and sort out, what is going to work for this person, mostly around here in an agricultural operation, what is going to work for the way that they're farming and can make that happen. And Chad has both of those gifts, which we really appreciate.
Yeah.
Another thing I just excuse me, like everyone else, I have this croup that's going.
We've all had it.
Want to just give a reminder to folks that one of our great statewide programs, the Knowles Nelson Stewardship Fund, which people associate predominantly with land purchases, but it's worth noting, Brian, that the Knowles Nelson Fund also funds things like easements on private land that the public can gain access to. They also fund boat landings, which open up lakes to public access, even if they're surrounded by private property. The Knowles Nelson Fund continues to kind of languish in our state legislature. And I guess I would urge folks who are listening to this that really care about public access in the outdoors to get a hold of your legislator and rattle a few cages about Knowles Nelson, because we really do benefit as citizens in Wisconsin from what Knowles Nelson supports.
Yeah, that's great. All great information.
Yeah. And then, do I have time for an and then, or are you itching to get...
go for it.
Okay.
We got a couple more minutes I'll give you.
Because we could and then all day here, I do want to mention that I've really tried to keep what we're talking about design for the listening area here, but just to note that a new fly fishing shop has opened up in Menominee. West of Eau Claire. It's called Red Cedar Fly Fishing. And so now this is the closest fly fishing shop to the listening area here. And I was thinking, actually it's about as close as we want any fly fishing shop to get. Because if they get much closer, you do get a lot of riffraff coming in. I don't know
anglers coming through.
Yeah, I don't know if we can really cope with that. So it's just 61 miles from Whitehall. I clocked this thing when I was looking at it. I've met the owner, Jeff Frawley, really great guy, innovative, and he's very public spirited. All right. So he and our TU Clearwater's chapter, we are going to be sponsoring the World Fly Fishing Film Festival on April 3rd, which is a Friday evening. Happens to be Good Friday. I didn't pick that date. I just want that known out there. But it's going to be Friday, April 3rd, and it's going to be at the historic Mabel Tainter Theater, which is just a tremendous, if you've ever been there, it's just a knockout venue. And our chapter has kind of gone big into hosting film festivals. It's a way for us to raise a little money, and we hosted the Banff Film Festival in December, and those are kind of outdoor adventure films like rock climbing and, skiing and snowboarding and just wilderness adventures in exotic places. And I didn't know if I would like it all that much, but I was helping out this year and I watched a lot of the films, and I gotta say, I was inspired. Right. They often weave it in with a personal story about a person and what their relationship to the outdoors means to them. Wow. But this film festival is specifically about fly fishing. And it has a fantastic reputation. The cinematography is beautiful. We're going to do a bunch of bucket raffles and giveaways and just a lot of fun. So want to urge people to look that up. It'll be the Fly Fishing Film Festival, Friday, April 3rd at the Mabel Tainter Theater.
Oh, that's great. That sounds like an awesome time.
I'm looking forward to it. And I'll be there with some other TU Clearwaters folks, and looking forward to working with Jeff and to making this something of a success. And the other kind of fun part of all of this is I don't know if we exactly swiped this from River Falls, but it had been in River Falls for a number of years, and I don't know, something fell through over there, so we were able
So
to
you got it.
to pick it up a little closer to our area, and I'm super looking forward to it.
That is so great. Well, Peter, thank you so much for coming in today. We'll get you back on the show sometime soon again.
I would love it. It's always great to see you, Brian.
It's great to see you too.
And my heart is definitely here in terms of the great outdoor opportunities that we have.
That's great. We've been speaking with Peter Jonas here on Get Outdoors. We're going to get back into your hits right after this.
WHTL. Choosing the right residual herbicide can feel like you need a map. Too many choices,